Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be making aloo, bhindi and roti, and I'll show you the step-to-step guide. In terms of my ingredients, I've got onion, chili, garlic. The garlic is finely chopped, curry leaf and potatoes. And then I've got my jeera, methi, sarso and sliced bhindi. We'll heat up a pan with oil, any oil you like to use, and once that's heated up we'll add in our jeera, methi, sarso, and we'll give that a toss. You can use a spoon for this stage. So once that's heated up nicely, what we'll do is we'll add in our chopped garlic. You can crush in your garlic if you want to as well, but it's I prefer to use chopped garlic in this recipe, and you can use as much garlic as you want to. So we've added in our garlic, we've added in our onions, and then we'll just let that fry off just for a bit, just make it fragrant before we add in anything else. You can see my heat is fairly high at this stage, and what I'll do is I'll put the heat down once I start adding in my potatoes. So I've added in my curry leaf and I'll add in my potatoes. Now you can see there's a few falling on the side. Rest assured I'll pick that up and put that in the pot. Now you don't need to worry about really browning off your onions and your garlic in there, because what you want to do is you do want to cook off your potatoes in a low to medium heat, and once that's cooked off, your onion, garlic and chili will all cook off as well. So we'll cover that up, put the heat to sort of low heat, and just let that cook away. I haven't added any salt at this stage, and I'll show you when I'll add in my salt. And the reason for that is because if we do add salt earlier on, our bhindi will get a bit more sticky, so I don't like to add it at this stage. So just cover it up and just let it cook in low to medium heat, and occasionally stirring it. So you can see that that's cooking away really nicely, and you can also see that the onion and the garlic are browning away really nicely. So what I'll do is I'll just check on my potato just to see if it's cooked, and there we go. It looks like the potato's nicely cooked now, and so what I'll do is I'll add in my bhindi now. So I'm adding in my chopped bhindi, and it does look quite a bit, and you'll probably think that I don't have enough potatoes in there. Once it cooks off, it will actually reduce in size. So just make sure when you've added in the bhindi, you've cooked it, or you're mixing it together really nicely, and you want everything to be incorporated with your bhindi. So give it a stir. Just pick everything from the sides, and then what you want to do is cover it up and let that cook. I know some people don't like to cover up their bhindi, and that's absolutely fine because they make it in a lot of oil. As you can see, I'm not using a lot of oil when I'm making my bhindi, just because I'm covering it up and letting the steam do the cooking. So we'll give it a stir. Again, just making sure we're picking everything from the bottom, from the sides, just so everything's incorporated really nicely. There's only a few ingredients we use when we're making this dish, so it's really nice to make sure that all the flavors have incorporated really nicely. So like I said, you know, it does reduce in size, and you can see that that's definitely reduced in the volume. So this is the end of the cooking. So I've added in my salt, and I'll give it a nice mix. And when I add in my salt, I like to cook it for probably another 2 minutes, and then it'll be done. Now if you want your bhindi to be green, you can also add a bit of baking powder, and the bhindi does stay nice and green when you cook it. And that's the trick I use when I'm making my raw, which I'll share the recipe with you guys shortly. So that's all done, and there we go. My bhindi is nice and green. I actually didn't use the baking powder, so when we do end up serving it, it does get a bit brown, but that's looking really yummy. And we'll head to make our dough now. So you can see I've added in my flour and my water. So when you're making the roti dough, don't be scared. You can add as much water as you want to. And there, obviously don't make it really soft. But if it does become soft, just have some dry flour on standby, and you can add that in there. So that's nicely mixed in the stand mixer. And what I'll do now is I'll use my hands to kind of knead the dough nicely. So you can add oil at this stage as well. I've used some ghee, and it was becoming a bit difficult trying to do it with one hand. So I'll show you guys how I did it. So when I add my ghee, that's how I like to knead the dough. So just punch into the dough and just make sure you're folding it in and then punching it in and then folding it in, and you want it to be a nice smooth dough. And that's the softness that there is. It's not too tough. It's nice and soft, and I like to have soft atta just so that I can make soft rotis. Now if you do feel like it is a bit too soft, just add in your dry flour, and I'm showing you the ghee that I was using, and I'll be using that when I'm making my roti. Cool, so I'm making it into small balls. And with this recipe, I ended up making quite a bit of roti, and my roti, you'll obviously see the size a bit later on. I do make quite a big roti, and you just need one roti and you'll be full. So I'll just give it take a bit from it, pinch a bit, and then just roll it in my hand, and that's what it looked like. So that's all done. Then you'll see there's a small one in there, and I always make that my first roti. Cool, so let's head to the tawa. So I've rolled the roti and we'll just let that cook in there. Now I only cook 3 sides, so you'll see this is one side, and then I'll flip it. I'll make it on one side, and then I'll make it on the other side. My tawa was a bit hot at this stage, so I would suggest maybe using medium flame when you are making your roti, and you just want it to sit on this side, and just making sure you're stirring it occasionally, just so it cooks off evenly as well. Now once that side has cooked off, then I'll flip it, and I'll make sure that the other side is cooked off really nicely, and that's cooking away nicely. Again, just making sure that you are stirring it occasionally as well. Now you don't need to add ghee if you want to have dry roti, but my family likes to have a bit of ghee in their roti, so I only add it on one side. So I'll add ghee on this side, and then I'll flip it, and then I'll let it follow. Okay, so I've done that, and then I flipped it, and you can see my heat is quite high at this stage, but it's a nice roti. There we go. That's all done, and then I'll just take it off the heat, and then I'll add in another one. And so this is the real time frame of how long it takes me, so I haven't sped up the process, or I haven't skipped anything. This is just how long it takes when I put it in the tawa. And like I was saying, the size of my roti is quite big, so it's enough. One roti is enough for one person, and it's nice and soft as well. And I'll shortly show you what that looks like as well. So we'll just let that side cook nicely, give it a mix. Oh, sorry, yeah. And then just let that sit there. You can start seeing the bubbles forming, and then we'll flip it. And then we'll just let the other side cook off really nicely. I'm actually rolling the roti on the other side as well while I'm doing that. That's why my hand has flour in there as well. So there we go. The roti is looking really good. Cool. So we'll put that there, give that a mix, and then we'll put in our ghee in there. Now if you don't have ghee, that's fine. You can add butter, or you could use oil as well. That's absolutely fine. Cool. So we'll just press it because we want it to rise. There we go. That's nice. Cool. So the roti is looking really good, and I'll just continue the process with all my other rotis. There we go. That's looking really good. And then I'll put that to the side, and again continue with the next roti. Cool, so that's all done, and I've just served that alongside with some raita and some roti. So that's quite simple. It takes less than half an hour to cook it. A nice midweek dinner. So if you like my channel, feel free to like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon as well so you can be notified whenever I add another recipe. Take care guys. Bye.